What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Bandai SH Figuarts event exclusive Nappa. And so here we have Nappa posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Nappa does come with 4 different facial expressions. We do get a smirking expression, which he has on him right now. We do get a smirking expression where he has a scouter on. We do get a yelling expression, which looks really good. And then we get a shocked expression. Nappa also comes with a pair of fists. He comes with a pair of flat palmed hands. He comes with a pair of style pose hands. And then finally he does come with a right hand where he's destroying the city, which looks really nice. Other than that, Nappa doesn't come with anything else. I am a little bit disappointed he doesn't come with the effect piece that the original one came with. But I think this is a really nice figure overall. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at Nappa, and I think they did a really fantastic job with this figure. I don't have the original Nappa figure to compare it with, which is I am a little bit bummed out about, but I do like the way this figure came out. I do know that this figure is more closely accurate to the anime color scheme, which a lot of people were upset that the original figure wasn't. The original figure was more of the manga colors, this one is more of the anime colors, and I really do like the detailing on his head. They did a fantastic job with his face. Every face that this figure comes with is done beautifully, and it looks just like he came out of the anime. Really do like that skinny mustache that he has and that really angry expression. It's an angry smirk, which I think fits the character perfectly. I am glad that they did not include a closed mouth calm face, because Nappa really wasn't that calm. I would have liked it if he came with a Cyberman. Did the original one come with a Cyberman? I feel like he did come with a Cyberman, but I just don't remember. And like I said, I don't have that original figure to compare, but really do like the color scheme on Nappa here. One thing I absolutely love is the detailing here on his armor. They went with a really nice matte finish right here, and it looks gorgeous. Nappa's armor really wasn't glossy, or at least from what we could tell it wasn't glossy, but they've done a fantastic job just making it look like it did in the anime, so we gotta give them credit for that. Now unfortunately you can see there is a little bit of a gap right there on mine. You can close it up, but it doesn't seal all the way. Not like this side, but it's not a big deal to me. You're never going to see it or notice it unless you're really nitpicking at the figure. So yeah, I really do like his armor. They did a really good job sculpting it, and the colors look really good. I am a fan of this navy blue with the yellow. I know the original one had like a darker blue and brown, which a lot of people weren't too happy about, but that is accurate to the manga. This is more accurate to the anime. You can see he does have his bracers right here, where we do have that design that Raditz also carried over. So he has the same bracers that Raditz has, so that's really cool. I do like the fact that they do carry over some designs. And then I think he also shares the armor design for Raditz. Really do like the fact that his tail is added here. The paint on him is superb. There's really no errors that I can see. Everything is crisp. All the line work is really good. I think a little bit of detailing here in the lines would have gone a long way. Like if they painted darker lines inside all those crevices, it would look better. I mean, just look at how nice that dark line looks, especially over here. And that's because that's where it hinges. Now if every line had that dark wash to it, it would look so much better, at least in my opinion. Still looks really good. You can see he doesn't have any pants on. He's just wearing those trunks. His legs are fully exposed. Then we go on to his boots, which carry over that same navy blue, white, and yellow design. Really good, really accurate to the anime. Loving this figure more and more. Now, one thing I am a little bit disappointed about is that there's no way to interchange the scouter. We only get one head that the scouter goes on, and that's this one, which essentially they're the same head, just this one has a scouter, this one doesn't, which I do like the fact that we get the same head, but I would have liked to see a scouter that can attach and be removed from the figure. Overall, really do like that. I think my number one issue with Nappa here is that he still uses that version 1 body that the original Nappa figure used, which I know a lot of people aren't a fan of that version 1 body, and I'll explain more on it Y in articulation, but as far as detailing go, this Nappa is beautiful. It does a really good job, and beautiful isn't a word you'd normally hear to describe Nappa. So, with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him compared to other figures you may have in your collection. So here we do have Nappa posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we do have Nappa posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And finally, here we do have Nappa posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. For one final comparison, we do have Nappa here posed next to the SH Figuarts Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku and Scouter Vegeta version 2. So with the comparisons out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to his articulation. Now, Nappa here does sport the version 1 style of the articulation for Dragon Ball figures, but he does have some newer parts. He came at a time when they were phasing out the version 1 and moving on to the 2.0 bodies. He does have a double ball joint in the head, in which he can look up about that far, can look down about that far, can tilt his head really nicely as well as rotate. He also does have a ball joint here at the neck, which does allow his head to look down even further, and doesn't really look up further, but you can get his head tilting better, so that is really cool, and it does rotate a little bit. His shoulder armor is on a hinge. This was before they made the Super Broly, which I think has the best armor design, but it's not the best, to be quite honest. I don't like this hinge. I would have preferred a ball joint back here, but we do have a ball joint here in the arm, which does allow rotation here. It's somewhat of a butterfly joint. You can see it moves forward and back really nicely, and then so another ball joint going into the butterfly joint socket. So his arm does do a full 360, but yeah, that looks terrible, to be quite honest. It doesn't even look right when you rotate the arm. I never liked the way they designed this, and I still say Broly has the best one. So as far as his arm moving out, that's as far as it goes out. The reason being, they actually sculpted the hinge into the shoulder rather than having the shoulder as the actual hinging point. The shoulder is hollow. You can see it does rotate, and if you can look right in there, that's where the hinge is on that little ball. So it only goes out to about right there. I mean, it doesn't break up the sculpt when you lift his arm up, but it is kind of subpar. We do have rotation at his bicep, double bend here at his elbow, giving us 90 degrees, pretty good for a figure his size. He does have a ball hinge here at the wrist, so that does give us up and down movement as well as in and out. Yeah, it's a ball hinge. I wasn't really sure. I haven't popped his hands off to double check, but yeah, it's a ball hinge. We do have a ball joint here in the torso, which does move forward and back really nicely. Pivot side to side and a little bit of rotation, but most of your rotation comes right here at his waist, and his waist has very little crunch, so most of your ab articulation is here at the middle joint. Now, like I said, his legs are still using the version 1 drop down hinge ball joint hinge. As you can see, they do drop down, but that does allow his leg to kick forward all the way, kick back, and then out to the side. Not the best. Nappa is not the most articulated character, but he really wasn't doing too many acrobatic techniques, so I guess that works. We do have a thigh swivel and then a double bend here at the knee. No boot cut to the swivel, but we do have a hit. I believe it's a ball joint here at the ankle. It might be a double ball joint. It looks like a double ball joint because it does pivot forward and back, hinges nicely, and then we don't really have too much of an ankle pivot, but we do have a toe hinge, which it's kind of pointless because of how small his foot is to begin with in comparison to his body, and that really doesn't do much for it. So yeah, it is a little bit strange on his articulation, and it's not that this figure wasn't well designed. It's that the original figure had some issues, and this one just carries over those issues. I think another thing I'm not a fan of is how small he is. I think Nappa should be a little bit bigger. But overall, I still like the way the figure came out. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the event exclusive Nappa pose for my final thoughts, and overall I think they did a really good job with this figure. Not saying that this was originally a bad figure. This figure had issues when it initially came out, and unfortunately those issues carried over to this figure. I do love the anime colors that they went with for this figure. If any character needed an anime color scheme, it was Nappa. Hopefully we get a Cell at some point, because Cell's another figure we need a redo of. And one problem I have with this particular version of Nappa is he feels kind of small. I do feel like they underscaled Nappa here. He is bigger than most of your SH Figuarts Dragon Ball characters, but I feel like he could have been bigger. I think if he was either Rikum size or Super Broly size, that would probably have fit the character a little bit better. He is a little bit tiny when comparing him to the other figures. I mean, Raditz is about his same size, which that's not how it looked in the anime. Nappa really seemed like he towered over everybody, and that's one thing I really wanted out of this figure, was a towering Nappa. Unfortunately, we don't get it, but that's not saying he's a bad figure by any stretch of the imagination. This is still a very well done figure, and if you're like me who missed out on the initial release of Nappa, this was a really good chance to get a second go at it with more accurate anime colors. Now the only problem is that this Nappa was an event exclusive figure, meaning you had to get him off the premium Bandai website when all the event figures went on sale. I was lucky enough to secure my Nappa, as well as one other figure. I really only wanted 2 figures out of the bunch, but having Nappa in hand, I think he fits a hole in my collection that I was desperately needing to fill, especially for that Saiyan saga. Nappa here originally did run you about $65, which was pretty decent, but if you didn't get that figure initially, getting him secondhand, this Nappa is already going for $150 on eBay, so happy hunting. Hopefully you guys are able to get one at an affordable price. And with that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other SH Figuarts and Dragon Ball videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.